if you see the game's rigged, and it's always rigged against you, it'll always be rigged against you. Listen, you can do it. You can change your life. You can do it one step at a time. You can set goals. You can achieve things. You can feel better about those things, and you can celebrate them. Hi, it's me, Kevin from Silver Hill. And this video, I just want to talk about the idea that really you can help yourself. And that maybe that's where a person's focus is. Sometimes we don't know what we should be doing with our life. And I think if you're looking, if you're searching, it will come. Sometimes it takes a lot of time. Sometimes it takes years. And you sort of have to hang in there and try many different things if you want to know what your purpose is. Sometimes I know we do equate a lot of our purpose to our financial status. It's like, well, we do know, for example, that part of our purpose is to survive and to find a way to make money, and it's no doubt about that. It's, like we can say, oh, my calling is to do such and such, to help other people, to maybe your calling is to be like a medical professional, or you want to help people. You want to help people get well. You're a healer. Okay, that's more of a way of doing it. You're a healer. Okay, that's what you are. Let's just suppose you're that. But you're going to know that at some point you will need to buy groceries and do things that make money so that you can survive. Pay your rent, your mortgage, whatever, and buy things you want. So unfortunately, money is tied a lot to our purpose, but I don't think it is our purpose. I think people that get caught up in that, that they want to be billionaire, and maybe it's not so bad to be a millionaire, because $1 million today isn't very much money, really, especially if you got to pay for your own retirement. You do want to have some money set aside. That's for sure. I wish I had put more money aside or invested more when I was younger. When you're young, there's this sort of thing over you that you almost feel like it's never going to end. You're gonna be at this level of output all the time. In my case, I was married, had children, and had jobs and part-time jobs, and spent time with the kids, and the energy, and built things, created things, made things. And now I'm like, well, I can only choose one or two of those at a time, because hitting 62 very soon, you do tend to slow down. But I don't think it's over, until they say it's till your eyelids are shut for the last time. There's no point in giving up. There's no point in just acquiescing to failure, or whatever. Not failure, but because failure is good. I mean, you have to fail to succeed at something. You really do. It's something maybe I think a generation sort of missed. Is that you do have to fail in order to succeed. Because it's learning. It's about learning. It's about, like, if you try to fix your car, something that you're qualified to do, and you're learning it, and you have to fail sometimes, not to get into safety issues, and maybe that was a bad example, but you're trying to paint a picture, and there's some argument for, well, whatever you do as an artist is fine. You don't have to perfect it or anything, but you do, because you can get better at anything. So what I'm trying to say here is that I'm a real advocate for helping yourself. I know that people need help, but the way I see the world is that if you take 100 people and, well, we'll say 40% of them are well off, and that 40% has to help the leftover 60% because they can't afford groceries or housing, whatever. I think if you looked at the equation differently, I think if 60% of the people were well off, it would be easier to look after the 40%. And I think it's easier to fall into the trap. We can tell ourselves, look, I've seen this in real life. I mean, I've known people personally like this, and I've even seen it on good stories. You see characters in stories that they're always complaining about their situation, as if to justify all their actions. That's what it comes down to. But I think this is a trap. It's a trap, really. And it's going to suck from you any ability to improve your own situation. I don't think it's wrong to be posting and tweeting and going on about what's missing in your life, and maybe if the government did this sort of thing, or maybe if the school teacher would have treated me better, I would have stayed in school. You know, you may have other reasons that you left school or left a job, but what I'm trying to say is, if you're always leaning into that kind of thinking, leaning in that direction, you're just setting yourself up for more and more misery. And when you look for misery, you can find it. Gosh, we all know misery is easy to find. I mean, just look at your life. You can sit down and start writing all the bad things that have happened to you. But that is only going to make your life worse. You know, when something bad happens, we do have to cry, get over it. We do have to adjust. We do have to mourn. But the longer you stay down, the harder it is to get up. It's like, I used to think of this sort of parable that I came up with myself about an old tree that always hunched over a young tree, and this tree would continue to like hover or bend over the small tree and say all the negative things to this small tree. And eventually the small tree died because it didn't get any light, because the leaves and the branches from the big tree arching over it always choked out the light and choked out the water. And so the small tree died. And then one day this larger tree tried to stand upright. It couldn't, because it had all grown bent over and arched. That's the danger of becoming pessimistic about everything. Realism, okay. Realism with some optimism, good. Full-on optimism only, perhaps foolish at times, perhaps leading to other dangers. But somewhere there in the middle, I think, is the sweet spot. Somewhere in there, we can complain about the government, we can complain about our authority figures, and don't get me wrong, like, this is all depending on situations. I mean, if you're in a country that's got a dictator, you're going to have to find a way to survive and complain at the same time. But what I'm getting at is this general idea that if you see the game's rigged, and it's always rigged against you, it'll always be rigged against you. One of the benefits, perhaps you find this yourself, one of the benefits I've found of growing older is being able to look back and having known people in their teens and their 20s and seeing where those people are today. And I can guarantee you one thing, we're all going to experience death. We're all going to experience some kind of shortage, some kind of health crisis. It's like the chances of having a car accident in your life, if you drive a car, is extremely high. You know, it's higher than being in an airplane crash. The question is, are you going to be prepared for that crash? Are you going to be able to mitigate it such that it's not as bad as it could be? I think what I'm trying to say here is to not stay down in this slough of despond and not stay down in the mud and the mire. Lift your spirits up. Listen, you can do it. You can change your life. You can do it one step at a time. You can set goals. You can achieve things. You can feel better about those things, and you can celebrate them. Celebrating was going to get you further in life than complaining. There used to be a show on television my wife and I used to really like to watch, and we saw most of the series, and it was called Blacklist, and maybe you've seen it. And the main character was Raymond Reddington, I believe was his name. And he was kind of a criminal, but, you know, you kind of fell in love with him as a criminal. Kind of strange, but we do sometimes. But he had this gift for being able to see ahead, almost like in chess moves, and be ready for the inevitable thing that happened. That's not what I'm advocating here. I mean, how many of us can do that? We plan things and we end up in divorce. We plan things and our house burns down. It's like, that's life. But if you're looking for divorce, if you're looking for your house to burn down, if you're looking to be sick all the time, your life is surely going to be that way. I believe in you, and I believe in myself, and I think we can change our paths. So this little video is just to encourage you. Just take a moment and stop and think, what's my outlook? I've only got this one brief life, one brief, so many breaths that we have on this planet. And maybe some gratitude, maybe some encouragement, maybe some love of yourself in the right way is going to help. That's all I have to say. I believe in you. I believe in us. And we can do this. I hope you have a better life today because of it. Okay. My name's Kevin. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.